What's good, beautiful people? I'm the Black Thumb, and this is my man's.
Ayati.
And welcome to New to the Game podcast, the podcast for the casual NBA fan.
Now, the casual NBA fan is more interested in the fashion, the music, the culture, the drama. Terry, what are we talking about today?
Okay, so this is a commemorative quarter.
Yeah, it's a celebrate quarter.
So Ayati and I, we just hit our 1 year anniversary of being in the podcasting space, and yeah, I feel like we've done a lot.
Yeah,
and we've learned a lot. And we've also grown a lot, I would say.
Well, notch on the belt, something.
Yeah,
say, hey,
exactly.
I did this for a year.
Exactly.
How many people I think? Well, no, let me take that back. There's a bunch of motherfuckers with podcasts. I think everybody's
fair. So
they probably to make these shits illegal at this point. These motherfuckers saying a bunch of shit, just crazy shit in the world right now. So yeah, there's a lot of motherfuckers making podcasts. So, but it's just a milestone that we've been able to do it for a year.
Yeah,
talking shit. And I feel like a lot of y'all been riding with us for a year, so that's cool too.
Yeah, so absolutely, like we 100% appreciate every person that's listened, watched, downloaded, shared, interacted with us in any way, whether it's in face or in person or through the internet. Yeah, I mean, I want to give a big shout out to my wife. I also want to give a big shout out to Ash for the sacrifices that they've made for us to record.
Yeah.
You know, me and you being loud you being loud as hell, and Ash is right there.
It's like, you know.
So yeah, so
sacrificing weekends,
yeah, man.
Hiking and shit.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. So yeah, so it's been really cool, and I actually went back and looked at like some of our first videos just to kind of like. Just to see where we started.
Way better than me. A lot of it probably got cringe. Like,
yeah, exactly. It wasn't the best. It wasn't the best. But I think the beautiful thing about like this whole process with you, number one, has been like just us getting to further develop our friendship. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, I feel like we were really close and really tight before we started this, but like. If you really want to get close to one of your friends,
get a job with them.
Start a podcast with them.
Yeah.
Right? Because you learn even more deeply like how each other think, how each other like what makes each other tick.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, that's been like my biggest takeaway is just like I feel like I've learned so much about you that I didn't know. And not like you were like hiding things. It's just like things just didn't necessarily come up in conversation in larger groups. And they have, ironically, between us, but we're sharing them with a larger audience, right? And so that aspect has been really, really cool. What about you, bro?
I'm glad we stayed out of that relationship podcast realm where everybody got a relationship podcast. We tell motherfuckers how to date. And
no.
What's a toxic masculinity and all that bullshit. I'm so glad like we
ain't got it for y'all.
That's what for 1 year. I'm like, damn, we never got tempted to go into that.
Nope.
That murky water.
Nah, bro.
But that's where I'm like,
because if I can't see the bottom, like, you know, I can't swim. So if I can't see the bottom, right, like I'm not going in the water.
If I can't see the bottom,
I can't do it. Even if I know it's only 2 feet.
If I can't see the bottom, I'm not going in it.
You ain't about to get me.
That is a perfect analogy for what you do when you pick your podcast.
Yeah,
you're looking for your topic. If you can't see the bottom,
that's probably
don't
not your
go
vibe.
in there. Yeah. Just to like chime in and piggyback on what you said about like spending time with somebody, like it was like intentional. This was deliberate. This was something planned out. We didn't have to, because it wasn't like something was going to fall apart if we didn't, but we, time and time again, repeatedly chose to come do this. Yeah. And not for me, I'm like, man, that's kind of dope. And then it kind of shows you like where your priorities are at, I guess you could say, or what you're willing to sacrifice to try. It's a risk. Because at the end of the day, we took a risk. This is like, let's just try some shit. And we putting this shit out to the fuking world.
Yeah. And it looked
with the AI and all this shit, this is when we decided to do a fucking podcast. When you see what world we live in 2024, that's when we decided to do a podcast. So to me, I'm just like, man, okay, my brother want to try this shit. Let's go ahead. We're going to be out here in some scary world. But it's been cool.
Yeah.
1 year done. Not as scary as it was in the beginning.
No, not at all. And I think
shit's easier.
I think what I really appreciate about us is that we've tried to elevate the show in some way, whether it's beknownst to the audience or not, in each thing that we put out, right?
Yeah.
And so as we kind of hit this 1 year mark, it got us kind of thinking, reflecting, but also looking forward to the future and kind of what this is going to look like moving forward. And so the folks who've been consistently listening and watching, as many of you know, we started off as an NBA podcast for the casual NBA fan.
Yep.
And yeah, we are two truly casual NBA fans. I think I've watched like 4 games this year.
I ain't watched one this year.
There it is.
Maybe, no, wait, I watched one. I watched that opening Laker game with Bronny.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what I watched.
That's the only one you watched.
Only thing I watched, and I ain't seen that shit since.
Right. And I think while we do
don't
enjoy...
even know who won the cup. I don't even know who won the fucking cup.
Milwaukee won the cup.
The Bucks won that shit?
The Bucks won that shit.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
That.
All
right, that.
I've come to the conclusion that I don't think I root for Giannis anymore.
I really don't like him?
I don't know
why.
I don't know why. I don't know. But
he don't do shit besides got a strong Greek accent.
I don't know, bro. But anyway, as we've been reflecting on this year, and kind of where we see the show now, but also where we want to take the show in the future. Many of you who've been listening on a consistent basis have probably noticed that we've been doing less and less sports and even basketball content, and doing more kind of lifestyle, culture, society, topics. And I think that is, and so we've come to the decision that is kind of the path that we're going to chart moving forward. And we're going to kind of lean into kind of the culture topics, the drama. We're going to pivot to more of kind of bringing some, instead of NBA news and topics, it'll be more about what's happening in the world, and the things that we think are interesting, or the things that we think would be interesting to you as well.
So it'll be like a pivot and a move to how you see it now. 2 friends on the couch having conversations about random shit. So it's more like a show for, instead of the casual NBA fan, I guess it'd be like the casual human being, where you're kind of just like, you dibble dabble in some shit. You know enough to be dangerous in it, but you ain't about to like fully,
subject matter expert.
You about to be a fucking PhD in none of this shit. So that's kind of like where you will get your like taste of what this show would be like. You just happen to be walking by and you hear some people talking about some shit, and it sounds kind of like interesting. What the fuck they talking about? And then you start to listen a little bit more. That's what we're hoping happens. That like it's a organic transition that also blossoms and grows to something much bigger than we can both imagine.
For sure. So we are finalizing some of the details on like what we're going to be doing from a branding standpoint. Just know that the next time you see or hear our voices, the name will change, but the format and everything else will largely be the same. The vibe will be the same.
Yeah.
The only thing that'll be changing is the name, and that's really it.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah, just so to you NBA fans who are really like coming out like, when's he gonna start talking about this season? I'm sorry.
We apologize.
That shit dead.
We never got around to, and let's just be honest. Can we be honest about the NBA for just a second? As much as we love the league, it's too many games, and a lot of these games are happening during football season.
It's too many games on too many different networks that I ain't got service to, and I'm not about to pay for all these different fucking subscriptions.
Especially as a casual fan. Yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah, I'm just not. And then like for a LA fan, we got like fucking 3,000-4,000 teams out in this motherfucker, and I'm not about to go watch a game deal with downtown LA traffic. I'm not. That shit is
ridiculous. We went to a Clippers game. It was one of the more interesting ways to get into a stadium. All this like facial recognition software. What? Yeah, bro, you gotta have. Yeah, it was like So it was futuristic.
Yeah,
it was a little too futuristic. But the atmosphere once we got into the game.
Did you see anybody with those white faces that blocked the like facial recognition shit?
Nah.
That'd have been funny.
That would have been, but you wouldn't have been able to get in the game.
You know those fencing masses?
Yeah, you wouldn't be able
to. They
wear
those to like, the computer, like the little Waymo cars and shit, so they won't recognize your face and shit. Cause they're like getting data on people too, but little selfless cars are taking pictures of you and shit while you're walking by and shit. and them little robots and shit they run around. It's all collecting data on everybody. So they don't want to like the privacy shit they putting on their faces like Kanye walking around. But that was a random side note. But
Kanye was ahead of the game on that.
Yeah, he was already trying to get warn everybody like this shit's weird as fuck. Like I don't want this shit knowing where the fuck I'm at. And I'm like, but at least he's a celebrity, can do that shit. I can go to work with no fucking weird ass mask like that.
You're right about that.
I could have barely went to work with a COVID mask on. Have my coworkers, why the fuck you got a mask on? Cause it's COVID, motherfucker. We sick. That's why we got masks. Shit. So imagine trying to wear the damn facial recognition mask everywhere. You can get away with that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a random tangent.
Yeah. So in conclusion, we are making a small pivot, but for the most part, the show is going to stay the same outside of the name.
There will be some additions. There will be like little segment additions. Let's be honest. We've already spoken about that, so it ain't gonna be exactly the same. Don't think it's gonna be like, we're gonna just put we bought the storage, put our name on that bitch. Like, it's under new management. Like, okay, this laundromat is the same shit, but we just, it's not super suds, it's soapy suds.
Well, I guess that is kind of a theme of our show, though. Nothing is etched in stone.
Yeah.
Everything is negotiable.
It's consistent improvement. We're trying to always change and improve the show. Every change we make is going to be thinking it's going to make a better experience. And for the most part, that's what the track record has been.
Yeah.
It went from having 2 people looking at some shit to now hopefully got over 100 people looking at some shit.
Yeah.
Which is, progress. It's growth. That's all we're aiming for.
Exactly.
But yeah, it ain't gonna be, we ain't gonna just change the name of the shit.
Yeah.
You expect some better stuff. That's what you should expect.
Yeah. I mean, it'll get better, but I'm saying largely the content will be roughly.
We'll see.
I guess that's fair.
Gotta give him a little intrigue, a little buzz. You'll see.
Maybe it'll be different. Maybe it'll be exactly the same. Who knows? All right. Anything else you want to add?
Nah, that's it. Hope to see y'all in a couple weeks. Happy New Year's to y'all folks. Happy holidays. I saw an incredible quote about when someone say happy holidays, don't get offended. It's not about them not celebrating one particular holiday. It's just that there's 15 different holidays going on during the season. So if they saying happy holidays, it's just out of respect. They don't know what the fuck you celebrate.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's fucking dope. So it made me start saying happy holidays, everybody. Shit.
Yeah.
Y'all got a lot of shit going on. I like to party and eat with all that. So
correct. Yeah. Yeah. So hope y'all had a happy holiday and have a happy new year. And we'll see y'all in 2025.
But till then, stay casual.